This is the Hammer Down Show on 1017 The Hammer and the 1017 The Hammer app. We're over to our Hammerhead hotline. Of course, high school football is kicking off on Friday night, week one. Very excited to have Coach Shane Fry of the Westside Red Devils entering into his 14th year as head man. And that will also be our game of the week over on K105. That's 105.3 Harrison over at Westside. 7:30 with the kickoff. We'll do a 7 o'clock pregame show. So, Coach, great to have you back here. Man, year 14, does it feel like year 14 to you? Because it does not feel like year 14 to me just yet for you.
No, honestly, when someone asks, I always forget. After about the sixth year, it's hard to keep track of. So I'm glad you filled me in that it is 14 because I didn't really know.
I'm just kind of that way. That's to the point where, like, it's the things that make me feel old in this game are just – it's wild, but for whatever reason, 14 years, you and me, buddy, has not.
Yep.
It doesn't age me like when it's when you guys get those former players coming back and like coaching and doing stuff.
Yep.
That's when I start feeling like
Exactly.
I'm like, what's going on here? Like maybe
sure.
I've been here for too long, but no, 14 years with you, man, doesn't feel like it's been that long. It's great to be back at this again. The Hoosier Conference, I think, really looked a lot better last year. You guys have always, just been bellwethers in that conference here with a lot of returners this year too. I like it. So let's talk a little bit about this offseason for you guys. I know last year wasn't exactly the run you're used to having. So talk about what your offseason was like. What were some of those points of emphasis that you had with your players and your coaches?
Yeah, I mean, I think leadership was a big part of it because when things go south like they did last year, you've got to have good leaders sort of rallying the troops, and we've got a great group, great senior class. We've got some underclassmen, they're great leaders also, and everybody's kind of put that behind them, and you always have the next play mentality. Well, this is the next year mentality. There's nothing we can do about that anymore, so just learn from it. And our guys have had a great offseason, great summer, and they've done a great job.
And you're able to bring back some of your bigger playmakers like Biddle, Kojo Steffi's a name that, we all know around here. He's been really impressive. Talk a little bit about how they've developed here and how your offense has maybe evolved a bit in the offseason.
Yeah, both of those guys were very disappointed last year, and they started immediately after we lost in the sectional and just getting to work and grinding every day and making themselves better. Both of them in the weight room, on the football field, just have made huge strides. Offensively, we do return a lot. I think we'll look similar. I think Blake, the biggest deal with us, and we haven't had this in a while, to get a returning starter at QB is such a big deal in our offense. It's like the light bulb goes off at some point because it's not easy to run our offense. And, the players get better every year. But to have a whole year under your belt and come back as the starter, it's like I have to talk a lot less out there. Blake is just running the show. He sees the same thing I see. Before I can even give him a correction, he tells me what he did wrong. And it's been great. We haven't had a 2-year QB since Max Mullis. So it's been a while. And I'm glad to have him back. And obviously Kojo is Kojo. Man, I'm not sure how people tackle him. He's just so strong, and he's done a great job this offseason working on his flexibility and just getting better every day.
Yeah, and of course, too, when we talk about the quarterback position with you guys specifically, I mean, it's not just processing the information. You have to do it at such a tempo because you guys like to move so quickly. I think that's one of the most impressive aspects if you do play quarterback at West Lafayette is just not only being able to decipher what you need to do, read that defense, but to do it at a pace that allows your offense to do what it does. I think people don't understand that, Coach.
Yeah, it just slows the game down for Blake to have seen all the looks that he saw last year. And we had a heck of a schedule last year. I mean, the historically good teams that we played and then the teams that had great years kind of, maybe their first good year in a while or whatever, but we played a lot of solid teams last year. And so it was great competition, and Blake took nearly every single snap. So, yeah, that's a lot of experience coming back.
I want to go on the other side of the ball for you guys here defensively. again, we know how it went last year. It wasn't great, and I understand. But have you guys retooled anything? Have you guys thought about doing things possibly differently on defense this year?
Yeah, well, we're going to be a little different on defense. It's sort of unique for us. We don't usually have D linemen. For whatever reason, the size that we've had in the past, they've been O linemen.
Yeah.
We've got some big boys this year that are D linemen, and that's going to be nice to have. Usually we rely on speed. Now we're going to be able to rely on a little bit more on size up front with our defense. And when you have size up front, that helps everybody out. It helps your linebackers out, and then our back end. We do have a lot of speed on our back end, so. While we don't return a lot on defense, they've been together all summer, and they're getting better every single day, every single practice, and they're starting to gel now. So they're fun to watch.
Yeah, just don't get lucky every season to have a guy who you have on the offensive line demand to be played on the defensive line like a Mo Day, right? I mean, they come around every so often, but not often enough.
Not too many Mo days
No,
out there, no.
no. So it's nice to hear that you guys got some size up front. You're going to be taking on the Raiders here on Football Friday night. And this is going to be the last time, it sounds like, for quite some time to be able to get this matchup in. I talked about this, I would really value these city matchups where you'd have two teams do it. They're going to be, I think, a little bit more rare in the seasons going forward. But talk a little bit about what the series has been like against the Raiders and what you got to prepare for tonight against them.
Yeah, it's been fun. They've got a great program, obviously, with Terry, and then Kyle is just picking up right where Terry left off. A really proud football program, great fan support. So it has been fun playing them, and I feel like we've held our own, minus whatever year that was. They really whooped us one time out of the four. So I think we've given them a good challenge week one, and they definitely what they bring to us is, if we can play with Harrison and learn some things from that week one game, I feel like we're ready to go the rest of the year. So it's a good game for both of us. Unfortunately, the way enrollments are trending, doesn't make much sense to keep playing. So our schedule is going to look a little different. But it's been a good 4 going on 5 years.
Yeah, and to be able to take on a 6A to really kind of push your guys early on and have that kind of a litmus test. I mean, 6A Harrison and 5A McCutcheon for a 3A squad. That's a pretty impressive thing. Not too many people are doing that. And then you get into that Hoosier Conference, which is, you pointed out, really had some surprising teams, some teams that were on the upswing last year. This is certainly not a cakewalk schedule for you guys whatsoever, is it?
No, not at all. It's tough week in and week out. Kind of in the past, our schedule was front loaded, and then we'd get some weeks where the teams weren't as strong. But it seems like now the Hoosier Conference has made such a step up, and our teams have changed a little bit in the conference. So each week is very difficult, but the way Indiana high school football works, that's just fine. Even if you lose them all, I mean, all they are practice games, because we don't get a bye or a home field advantage if you win a bunch of games in the regular season. So you just have to get better each week and learn from every game and every week, and hope you're peaking in October.
Coach Shane Fry, Westside Red Devils again. Football Friday night on K105 with a 7:30 kickoff against the Raiders. Really looking forward to this matchup. Coach, always a pleasure talking ball with you. Welcome back to another season.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me on.